And welcome back to Coast to Coast. I'm George Norrie. Professor James McCanney has taught computer science and astronomy as well as numerous other math courses. He is an expert when it deals with planetary systems and comets. And Jim, we want to talk with you a little bit as we get into this tonight with you about the solar maximum here this year. Now we're getting physicists talking about the possibility of getting hit with a major flare, taking down the grid, something, Jim, that you and I and we've all have been talking about for a long time. James McCanney. Hey, James, go ahead.
But the sun has been extremely weak in this solar cycle, but you never know that these can pop off at any time. And so there's something to keep an eye on. There's some big solar sunspot activity going on right now. And we have an added factor of this comet, C2012S1, coming into the solar system that's going to have a direct encounter with the sun this coming November. So that's something to keep an eye on. It's going to be a very big comet, and it's going to come within about, I believe, 2 million miles of the surface of the sun. So that's something to watch also. That's standard science does not believe that comets can interact with the sun, but we have literally thousands of video streams now of the comets affecting the sun. So that's another thing to watch. But absolutely, we're heading into a time when solar activity could affect Earth, and dramatically.
So this missed the Mayan calendar by a year, but we're right in it, aren't we?
Yeah, that was something that actually 2012 was supposed to be the solar maximum, but back in 2000, we had a double solar maximum. A very strange event had never happened before, and it moved the solar maximum out by about 2 years almost. And so we should have been in the solar maximum at the beginning of 2012, but here we are peaking now just beginning in 2013, and it'll run somewhere into 2014. So we got a whole year here to watch it.
I'm going to say we're not going to disclose where you are, James, but you are a long, long ways away. And thank God we've even got some phone contact with you there, huh?
Yeah. This is I'm not on the moon, but I'm somewhere in the.
You're pretty darn close. You're probably on an asteroid that is zooming by. Well, let's get into this comet situation for a moment. Comet Ison, as they call it, and it's going to get pretty close. They talk about how we can probably see it with a naked eye. It's going to be so bright. What do you think of that?
Well, the prediction charts, and this comes from the Russian observatory where it was discovered, put it around next November. It's off scale. In other words, it will be, some estimates, as much as 15 times brighter than the full moon and stretch across the entire sky. So this is going to be a real light show. It won't be that close to Earth. It'll be 38 million miles away, but still, they talk about the comet of 1680, which was an immense comet that stretched across the sky. They say this will be equal to that. So we're looking forward to that. But right now, I have a whole laundry list of dates when this comet will affect other planets. In fact, right now, Earth itself is aligned electrically with this comet. And just want to point out some things that popped up today worldwide. Tokyo has a severe blizzard. It has shut down Tokyo. It hardly ever snows in Tokyo. There's severe flooding across the entire eastern part of the United States from New Jersey to Louisiana. And we have huge auroras up in the northern latitudes of Europe and Iceland. And none of these were really predicted. I predicted months ago, I said, this is a date when it'll be the first indication of the strength of this comet. And I'm still looking to see if this comet has brightened with this interaction with Earth. But I have a whole list here of dates when this comet is going to interact with other planets. I wanted to quick go through this. But starting with next November, the interaction with Mars, actually October 1st, we're going to have this comet will be only 7 million miles away from Mars. And this is
that's pretty close, Jim. Yeah, that's close.
This is unprecedented. We have not seen a major comet come close to a planet The ancients talk about this, like 3,500 years ago, that some of the books talk about this. But what's interesting is NASA is downplaying this. They are not mentioning it in any of their announcements of this comet. So I'm making a special effort to inform listeners where to look. We're going to have, starting mid-September this coming year, 2013, September, we will have a bird's eye view of this event in the morning sky, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I'll be posting where to look and what to look for, but the comet will be right above Mars in the morning sky.
Are you concerned that this comet could affect planet Earth, James?
There are some issues. Like right now, we are experiencing some very unusual things on Earth that were not predicted or anticipated. Like I say, a blizzard in Tokyo. This big storm system that's covering the eastern United States. And given any one of these, you'd say not so unusual. But I predicted high level of auroras, and this is something that was not expected. So I'm saying that we are seeing effects. And by the way, this comet right now is out beyond the orbit of Jupiter. So it's affecting Earth from that distance electrically. We're in a direct electrical alignment with this comet and the sun. But next October 1st, and the weeks leading up to that, I'm expecting this comet to hook in electrically to Mars, and we're going to see something that possibly the human race has not seen for thousands of years. That is a major comet interacting with a planet. And then starting as early as February 22nd, it interacts with Mercury. May 22nd with Mercury, June 4th with Venus, August 18 with Mercury again, the October 1st incident with Mars, and then on into November, where this wraps around the sun, and if it comes out the other side, it's going to come up, and we're going to have a beautiful broadside view of this comet in the night sky for a month and a half. So I believe at that point the world is going to wake up and understand that these are not dirty snowballs, that these are serious plasma events, and this baby is going to light up like a light bulb.
Well, it's going to be something for us to see. Hey, Jim, a couple of weeks ago I had a story about how they are predicting that in the future ocean levels will rise by 3 feet, which of course would devastate the coastlines. You have looked into some water issues, haven't you?
Yeah, the water issues on this planet, it's the first thing is there's an incredible amount of mismanagement of water, especially fresh water. But yeah, I just saw a movie, and it showed the water coming off the ice caps of Antarctica, and it's like rivers. It's like if you took the Mississippi River and let it shoot out off into the ocean off an ice cap. And there are hundreds of these coming off these ice caps. And so what I'm saying is we have to start harvesting this water. You just had a story about the water in Lake Vostok down in Antarctica. But the water pouring off those Antarctic ice shelves in Greenland, we have to harvest this water and move it to locations on Earth. Excuse me. And the other thing I'm saying is, for example, when we have flooding in the United States, we have to have a system of moving that water in channels or whatever off to other locations in the United States. We have to start harvesting water and moving it and storing it. This is something, I remember the old days, the Herschel days, when he was looking at Mars. They thought there were canals on Mars because of the civilizations that were dying having to move water because it was such a dry planet. And it's odd, but that's what's happening here on planet Earth. So we have to start doing that. Plus the issues of water control. International corporations taking over water rights, especially in all countries, and then shutting it off and then raising prices for the use of water. This is a serious international issue, and the governments of the world, the United Nations, none of these governing bodies have the wherewithal to control this and stop this. It's
well, somebody's got to.
Yeah, agriculture, for example, is teaming up with water rights people to shut off water. I gave an example of in Molokai in Hawaii, Monsanto has taken over the water reservoir developed by the people there for the pineapple industry. They came in, took over somehow with the government, took over those water rights, and now are using it for the corn seed production of Monsanto and shut down the pineapple industry. So now all the people had to convert from a pineapple industry to basically working for Monsanto to raise corn seed. These mega corporations are just out of control. There's this is all over the world. That's just one example.
Jim, what do you see? What do you see as the biggest problem facing the planet? Asteroids, comets, solar flares, water. What's the biggest issue?
Wow, it's hard to say because they're all coupled together.
All of the above, huh?
All of the above. I wanted to mention. You mentioned asteroids. This asteroid DA14 is supposed to come by in February next month, and something very strange. There was a leak announcement that NASA has sent 2 missions out to bomb this asteroid and save the world, like the Bruce Willis Armageddon type of deal.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, they can't even put a mouse into space. How are they supposed to be doing this? And all of the announcements stopped of the whereabouts of that asteroid about 3 months ago. The military stopped releasing real information.
Why?
Of where it might hit. And that's what I'm wondering. Why did they stop releasing that data? Now they have a leak that says NASA is going out to blow it up and make it move so it doesn't hit the Earth. And I'm thinking, this sounds like a made-up story to put NASA on the map again. Yeah,
it definitely sounds like science fiction. By the way, Jim's website is linked up at coasttocoastam.com right now. It's jmcannyscience.com, jmcannyscience.com.